So this graphic is a simplified illustration of how the structure of my portfolio came together. In the outer circle, you'll see it says primary French immersion. Now that's the context within which I work, and therefore it was logical that the courses that I chose and the additional learning that I undertook was reflective of that context. And it is for that reason that in that same circle you'll see it says action research thesis. Well, I began a thesis into the use of constructivist teaching philosophies in an early primary French immersion context. So that thesis, it's unfinished, but that thesis forms a major artifact in my portfolio. And again, that's a logical consideration in that it is a reflection of the context within which I work, and therefore the interests and research interests that I had during the master's program. So underneath that, you'll see here it says reflective practice. Now, reflective practice is it's kind of my philosophy of learning as an adult. I believe in reflective practice in all things, and therefore it, while it's one of my 3 themes in the portfolio, it is also an overarching motif for everything in the portfolio, including the other 2 themes of digital literacies and leadership and technology. So in the middle, you'll see that there are the 2 other themes, that of digital literacies and also of leadership and technology. And I have them linked cyclically. It's not really a cycle, but they're linked to each other. And the reason for that is that I believe that they are interdependent, perhaps with a heavier bias on the leadership and technology in terms of its potential impact on how digital literacies can be successfully or unsuccessfully taught in schools today, and I'm talking elementary schools. So I'll start with the digital literacies. I have looked specifically at the 21st century learner and what that means and what today's students respond to, what engages them and how they like to learn, which inescapably involves Web 2.0 technology and how we today, particularly children, are becoming creators rather than consumers of technology, which then led to new definitions of literacy, wherein reading and writing is not what reading and writing used to be defined as traditionally. And on the bottom here, I've got this final bullet here, which says issues in leadership. And this is specifically what feeds into the 3rd theme of leadership and technology. The reason being that if you don't have, I don't want to call it good, if you don't have effective leadership in a school or in a school system or in a ministry of education even, it has a direct impact on how well we cater to our 21st century learners. So within the 3rd theme of leadership and technology, one of my major artifacts is a second started thesis on issues of leadership and technology in an elementary school. And I have some significant research and additional readings and a couple of other artifacts which speak to these things, in that my belief is that leadership in a school system which is going to have to reform to reflect our customers today, those being our children, leadership is going to have to be non-hierarchical. It's going to have to be more so shared and distributed, looking at communities of practice. It will have to involve mentoring, and I have an artifact which demonstrates how the use of critical friends can be effective in this area. And the other thing I wanted to add to that is that one of the big problems with technology and pedagogical technology, which again feeds back into the digital literacies theme, is that we have leaders and teachers and other staff members in schools who are actually uncomfortable with the use of technology, and therefore, without these things in place, our teachers are not necessarily willing or able or competent or confident to be able to provide what our students need today. So that, in a nutshell, is my thinking behind the structure of my portfolio and my reasons behind the things that I'm presenting in terms of artifacts and research knowledge.